Yay, here we are. Oh, look, people are just piling into the chat.
Yay! We're back.
Yeah,
Yay!
there's not too many people here yet, but we came right on, like almost on the money, right on the dot of 6 o'clock.
And your notification just dropped, so give them a couple of minutes to
Yeah,
see
give them
that.
a couple of minutes. So Mimi's here, or she was.
Hi, Mimi.
Yeah, I think there's a couple folks here that are just refilling their coffee, grabbing the last of their supper. Yeah.
Oh, Bern is here.
Hello, Bern. Nice to see you guys. Thanks for joining us.
Yes,
We're just giving everybody a few more minutes. Hopefully other people are going to be showing up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Jamie Sheridan. Hey, Jamie. Nice.
Hi, Jamie.
And we're going to be talking a little politics today. So if anybody has any input or questions or whatever, they just go ahead and join in from the chat section.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Hello,
Lynn just got here.
Yeah.
So let's see here.
And Marina's here.
Yes, Bern, either shopping or getting snookered at the office Christmas party. Yeah. I got one of those tomorrow night. My local tarot group. Yeah, we've got our Christmas get together tomorrow, and it's always a lot of fun because everybody brings a couple gag gifts.
Hi,
and
Chris.
yeah, they get passed around and tossed around and here and there and whatnot, and it's always so much fun to I remember one year, one of the girls who was in her 70s, one of the gifts that she got was a pregnancy test.
No,
she said, "Oh,
real,
good, I needed one."
Surprise would be if it came back positive. They did the holiday luncheon on campus today. They have it in the one of the stadiums. It's hard to eat when you go to it every year because it smells like horse manure, because that's where all the rodeos and everything are done in that Coliseum. And so they put like temporary flooring down, and they do it all up, make it nice, and they do games and giveaways. But I didn't go this year. I just wasn't in the mood for it. And one of the guys, when he got back, one of our IT techs, I said, "Well, how was the lunch?" He says, "I don't know." He says, "I got there." He said, "They were already out of turkey and ham."
Oh, jeez.
I said, "Well, somebody didn't order right." He was like, "Yeah." He said, "It was a bummer." He said, "I didn't get to eat anything."
Oh, too bad. Let me just go.
I was like, "Well, I got some lunch meat in the fridge if you." It's ham, It's same difference.
Okay, so we don't have a whole bunch of questions yet, but this is one thing we were going to talk about anyway. So let me put this up for Maureen.
Yeah.
I'm really worried about the threat of the government shutdown. Yes. I mean, they keep doing this. I'm so bored and tired of it, where it gives everybody a bunch of anxiety, and at the last minute they finally get it together. But this time it's a little bit different because President Musk, yes, President Trump, or going to be president, I guess, has in 1 minute he the House was in agreement about the budget. And then Trump came in and said, "Oh, no, you can't do it that way." And so then they start following what he says. And then a few hours later, Trump goes, "Well, I salvaged it. I saved it. It's going to be okay. And now we can go ahead and do this." And then the next thing, not a half an hour later, another thing comes up that says, "Nope, still haven't, still haven't got the vote." And so, yeah, I mean, this is really not a good thing. I mean, it never is a good thing. But I just love it that Trump creates the problem, then turns around and says, "I saved it and I fixed the problem." And now everybody in the House said, "Screw you. This is not what we're going to do," because I guess,
the Dems aren't having anything to do with it. They're like, "Yeah, okay, y'all want to F around and find out. We're going to wait over here. When you get done playing games, let us know." But,
yeah, because apparently they changed the whole plan to something that was not reasonable. I don't know that much about it. I just know that that's what happened. And I just thought it's just so perfect. Trump's usual thing of he creates the chaos and then turns around and says, "I saved the day for you people."
Yeah.
But he didn't. It did not. The vote did not go through on that.
Yeah. Ah, yes. Yeah. Yep, absolutely.
Well, and the thing of it is that it was President Musk who blew up X, Twitter, whatever the hell they call it, last night, talking all this crap about, "Oh yeah, no, we can't be doing this," and and we're giving too much away and blah blah blah. And it's like, yeah, dude, you're not the one that's gonna have to worry about, do I feed my kids this month? Do I make the rent this month? Do I keep the power on this month? You're sitting off on your golden toilet. You don't give a damn.
Yeah, he doesn't. You know what? He bought the American election for less money than what he paid for Twitter. And all you have to do is take a look at what he did with Twitter to know what could be coming down the pike for the US. I don't, you know what? I think that if there is a shutdown, I don't think that it's going to last very long. And I think that it is going to wake a few people up. So I did throw some cards, and I'm using the Housewife's Tarot. And I start off with the Death card. And this is the ending of something. I then go to the Two of Pentacles, okay, where decisions are being made about values, about the finances, and so on. And I end with the Ace of Swords. So I think that it is entirely possible that the Democrats are going to sit back and say, "No, you guys go ahead, do your thing. Make sure that the country sees as much as it can see who's responsible for this. And no, you can't blame Joe Biden. It's not his budget; it's your budget." Yep. So that's why I think maybe if there is a shutdown, it's not, the optics are not going to be very good for Trump or Musk or the GOP in general.
Well, I don't understand all the details about the budget. That whole thing just gives me a headache. And but I did read that Biden has set this up in a way that just really screws Trump.
Going damned if he does and damned if he doesn't. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm glad about that part. So they almost always get this worked out. However, there has been times where we've had to wait a little bit, and that's really hard on people. And it's perfect that they're doing it at Christmas time. So,
of course. Yeah, that's when they get the most bang for their buck, right? It's you can set your watch by it. So,
well, and I drew Judgment and the Seven of Swords. So,
yeah,
and then I drew the Three of Cups. So, I think this is the Democrats. They're kicking back with their eggnog, saying, "Okay, Let's see what they do.
Yeah.
Let's see how
FAMO.
good they are at doing all this mess.
Yep,
Thank you,
absolutely.
Vern. Yes, this is my my Christmas elf tarot, so it's all little Christmas
Aw,
elves up at the North Pole.
that's so cute.
Where's the box at? Oops. There we go. That's the box there.
Ah,
Nice.
lovely.
I got it.
Hi, Dorian.
I think I
So
got it at
Mimi
Amazon.
here says, I still won't believe 45 will be 47. Now, I don't believe it either.
Yeah.
I know everybody came unglued when Kamala didn't get it. But there's some things coming up that more and more about the possibility of Trump being disqualified. Now, I know that's probably a long shot, but one of the things that came up from Kamala Harris was that, Trump had said something about that he's actually threatened the life of Liz Cheney.
Yes.
And so this is what Kamala was talking about, that this was not, this disqualifies him from being president. Well, there's a whole, if they can get all these things together, there's so many other things along with this that would disqualify him. If they can actually get it together and do something about this, then that's a good possibility.
Yeah.
And this Sunday is a new moon. It's the second new moon in a month, which makes it what they call a black moon. And that's supposed to have a lot of implications with manifesting what you want brought into your life. It's like a super duper powerful moon to do it on.
Mhm.
So I would put out there, and I just learned this like an hour ago watching Gerald and Colleen talking
Colleen.
about it. I was like, I didn't even know that stuff. And so I'm thinking, I've been thinking ever since. I thought, okay, we all need to manifest real hard that he is just removed from the scene
Mhm.
and she gets in. Because I'm still waiting for other foreign eyes to step up and say, we have evidence of ABC, XYZ.
Yeah.
This happened in this country, it happened in this country, it happened in this country, and it happened in yours. And I think that
Yeah. Exactly.
something like
And
that,
don't forget that there wasn't a whole lot that Biden could do until just yesterday or a few days from now, because the states had to they had to what was it? No,
certify.
certify.
That's the word. Yes, they had to certify the elections. Once that happens, then all the ballots have to go and physically be in the custody of the federal government. There's nothing that Biden can do until those ballots are physically in the custody of the federal government.
Under
Just
lock and key.
because, yes, under lock and key, just because last time, within hours of the election, you had someone screaming and yelling, oh, it was stolen, and we're going to do this, and we're going to do that, and blah, 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 it was stolen. It doesn't mean that that is the way that the Constitution works. So, yeah, Biden
Exactly.
is going to wait until all the information is in. I do think that it is going to be the information is going to come from another country.
Yes.
So that it takes the heat off of Biden. Otherwise, he just looks like a
and off of Kamala as being behind it, so to speak. Although, give the right an inch and they'll take 10 miles because they'll figure out some kind of way to twist it around. But
of course,
and I think NATO is coming aboard with some pretty interesting information to Biden.
Yes,
as well as what's been going on with Russia and some of
Yeah.
these other countries.
Mhm.
I don't know what they're saying, but I'm hoping that soon we will hear something about that.
Yeah.
I love that Maureen says Dick Cheney wants to take the orange guy hunting.
Yes. Good
They're
idea,
making a
Donald. Get some fresh air.
they're making a very miscalculated step in pursuing Liz Cheney
Yeah.
because she has unlimited resources when it comes to fighting back. She has evidence and proof of all the things that kind of got pushed aside during the J6 committee
Mhm.
hearings that they just decided they weren't going to pursue. You can guarantee she's got a copy of it in her back room
Yeah.
somewhere, and it would give her the opportunity to literally relitigate the entire day from January 6th, 2021,
Yeah.
for all the world to see if they try to pursue her, because she can bring all that crap out as evidence in her favor
Mhm.
of this is what they did, this is the proof we had, and now they're trying to hunt me down because of it. Because I did my duty as a member of Congress of the United States.
Yeah.
And
And
that could very well be the basis for the disqualification. She's got all the
yeah,
evidence. He is threatening her. It's off. It's
yeah,
right out there. Everybody sees it. It's nothing new, really. Other than that he's constantly in denial about it. But for him to say that about her, um, because it's obvious that he's going after people as president. He's going after people just to, get even retribution.
Yes.
I mean, it's absolutely
and
craziness. I mean, he should be disqualified because he's mentally unbalanced, but, they won't go there with that. But I think they will stick with some of these facts that are going on that can't be
Mhm.
ignored. And,
Yeah.
I think it's just going to be an interesting time. I mean, for a
and
long
what do
the
you think
longest
Daddy Cheney's going to do if they go after his little girl? You think he's going to sit back and do nothing?
oh
This is
no,
the
I
man
think he
who
will try to do
orchestrated
something.
the entire Iraq war so that he could get their damn oil.
Yeah. And don't forget, like Liz Cheney said recently, that the GOP is doing their darndest to talk about how this is it's the Biden crime family that are coming uh, after Orangina, and trying to. She said most of the people that testified were people from his own administration,
Hmm.
people from the Republican side.
Right.
So yeah, you can argue all you want. Cleo, you're absolutely right. It is going to be interesting over the next little while. And just if you could just kind of sit back and look at it as an observer, oh
Make
my,
sure you stock up on your popcorn and get plenty of beer.
Well,
yeah,
I kind of think that I have to be an observer at this point because things change so fast. If I take stock in one thing, it's going to be different within hours or within
yes,
a day. I mean, it just is happening too fast. So, of all the BS.
yep,
Um,
absolutely.
yeah, so I do think, between now and the first week of January, there's going to be a lot of craziness. And,
Yeah.
it
Mhm.
might affect the inauguration. It might not. I mean, he could still be inaugurated, which for the longest time, I thought, no, 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 no way in hell. But no, it could be because he seems to get away with stuff. Sherry, what were you going to say?
I got the 10 of swords, or no, the 10 of wands, excuse me. So that's a really big burden being carried right now. And that could go with either side that they're carrying that burden. Either one to hide it or the other to show it.
Yeah,
S- Still, it's a big burden. And then I got the 8 of pentacles reversed. So a lot of hard work can very easily be ignored if they don't watch what they're doing with the 4 of pentacles and make sure all the T's are crossed and all the I's are dotted. And when it comes to this kind of stuff, who better to do that than the Cheneys? They're experts
Exactly.
at it. That man didn't arrange his way to become vice president to numbnuts when he was president. And he was basically the one calling the shots. Junior just ran around and had beer
Yeah.
with people, so he
Yeah.
probably hung out with Kavanaugh, who knows.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, and well, you can't fool me twice.
Well,
oh
it's
God, I remember that.
some of these reasons for disqualifications has been coming up more and more. I mean, Jamie Raskin, I think is his name.
Yes.
He wants to do something with about the insurrection, that he should be disqualified because he's just not eligible because of what he did with the insurrection. Well,
That's
and then
right.
I think Trump seems to think, well, they have to prove that in court. Well, no, they do not have to prove that in court. They just have to get 2/3 of Congress to agree with him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know if they have that, or if that could even happen, or if that will happen. But that's some of the other things that are coming up now today, with having Kamala Harris saying, he's disqualified because of what he said about Liz Cheney. I mean, it just, is starting to add up more and more and more. And then this thing with Musk, this is so crazy and unheard of. People calling him president, and somebody did here in the chat section that, and they're saying that across the internet, here comes Musk. Where in the
They're
hell?
saying it on national mainstream media.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just absolutely bizarre what is happening, that suddenly, because he gave a lot of money to Trump, he's now part of the whole thing, but he's not actually a United States citizen, so he can't really hold office or be involved that way. So his best way was just to buy into it. Can anybody do that? Can any of these billionaires buy into it and suddenly become part of this? And Trump is starting to look really old and foolish. He can't he can't control Musk at all. And Musk just goes off and does whatever he wants.
Yeah.
He was part of the reason of why this budget thing wasn't going to go through, or maybe it still isn't going to go through.
Yeah.
Because he's saying, no, we don't want that. That's overspending or something. One minute they're saying it's overspending, the other minute they're saying raise the ceiling and give us more money. I mean, it's just it's a cluster. You know what? I mean,
yes, it is. Yes,
but yet they don't feel that it's important to make sure that our military, especially those who are currently serving, get their paychecks on time.
Yeah,
or
that's
that those vets on disability, or just regular people on disability, get their checks on time, or that retired people get their checks on time. They could give a crap, It's like, oh well, yeah, just go a month without a check. It's like, and what? Eat air? I mean,
yeah.
you got a
Pay
lot of
your
people that
bills
are
with good
literally
intentions, thoughts, and prayers. I'm sure that's acceptable currency. It seems to be with the GOP. So,
well, unless it's somebody paying them and then they want their money.
Yeah.
But
look at it this way: is for those people who voted against their own self-interest, maybe you need to have a hard month, a very difficult month where you're looking at losing a lot of things, for you to say, wait a minute, why is this happening? Sometimes it's unfortunate that some people, the only way that they learn that universal lesson is when it affects them directly. They can't think past the tip of their nose in terms of, well, I can't do that because it might affect someone else. They're being very, very selfish when they're making those decisions. So maybe a little bit of pain would open a few more eyes. Yeah.
Right. And what this person says about Amendment 14, Section 3, that's exactly what I'm talking about. That's exactly what they need to use. And it would be just one way to remove Trump, even though apparently he got all the votes. I don't know who the hell's believing that. I mean, it makes no sense. Even Hakeem Jeffries came out and said it's very unusual that 5 of the 6 electoral states, basically the ones that make the big difference, although Trump got the majority of the votes for president, all the other, the senators and the representatives and all the Congress people were Democrats in 5 of the 6 states, and the only place that it wasn't was in Pennsylvania. Well, he didn't point fingers at anybody and say that it was crooked. He just said he found that unusual, and he just pointed it out to everybody. And I'm like, yeah, why?
It is.
Who's going to go into the ballot and vote for all Dems except for the president? They're going to go to that worst example of a president possible. That just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, no.
And
it was finished and done very early. Like, how could because
and how did Musk know the results 4 hours before everybody else?
Yeah, exactly.
That said he was telling Trump, I've got the results right here. We know what it is. That was before 4 hours before the voting was even through.
Yeah, it was crazy.
How the hell did you have the votes and know what it said unless?
Yeah, and I apparently they did do a recount somewhere, but it didn't seem to change anything with the certification. You guys are, Sherry and Marina are both telling me that really is, it's not irrelevant, but that the new information on the voting can still come up. It's not like it's over and done with. So,
well, no,
that really happens.
Either Pennsylvania or Virginia, and I don't remember which state it is now, where it was just so off the wall skewed from everything leading up to it. And when they started doing the recounts, the margin of error, the margin of difference between the two got down to where she won the popular vote in that state, not him. I mean, it did a complete reverse.
Well, they did find more votes for Kamala. Yeah, now that the separation, it was not a landslide. Now the separation between Kamala and Trump is something like 1% or less a difference. I mean, it was very, very close. But then it looks like that he really won on the electoral votes. And I'm thinking, well, yes, because that is where the most corrupt things were happening within the election.
That is so gerrymandered. That electoral college is so gerrymandered. That listen,
and you have states
I'm
like
North
Carolina that voted just about all Democrats in all of the top offices, and so the Republican House and Senate have just passed a bill and then overrode the governor's veto of that bill, taking away all of his powers. So that as governor, when he goes into the governorship, he will not have the powers of governor. Everything will have to go through the Republican Congress. It's like, how can you do that? How can you go in and change your state constitution just because somebody's having a temper tantrum because they lost the vote?
Yeah.
I mean, what the hell?
Right.
And I heard a legal pundit today make a comment that what Biden needs to do, since technically he's already got enough states to ratify the Equal Rights Amendment, there was just some thing about a date had expired somewhere or something. He said he should go ahead and sign it into law. Say, say it's already been ratified by all these states. We've got the numbers, we've got the count for it. So boom, I'm signing off on it. It's now part of the amendment, Equal Rights Amendment. Now, let them start trying to take away more rights from women and see what happens after Equal Rights Amendment gets passed and turned into law, into an amendment.
Yeah.
Well, there's so many people already freaked out about the things that Trump wants to do about tariffs, about and then this is the Kennedy guy wants to remove polio vaccine. What in the world is he?
Yes.
Yeah.
Just all these different things that are coming up from these people that are totally not qualified to do the job. And Trump looking around like, look at my great cabinet. Look at all the people we brought in. And I'm like, wow. And the threats on Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid is just, that really bothers me. I mean,
And a lot of it, I think, is just him talking to create more chaos, because that's what he thrives on. He thrives on chaos. He thrives on everybody being just all bent out of shape and having complete tantrums and hissy fits like his side does. And I think that's where they miscalculated with this budget thing, is they thought the Democrats were going to be running around hair on fire and oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Instead, they all stepped back and said, it's your show. We made our agreement. We signed off on the negotiated bill. We're not signing off on anything else.
No.
You can go back to the one we negotiated and approved together, or it's no deal. And they literally walked away. I don't think they were expecting that.
Well, today the Democrats did not agree with whatever the bill said. And a bunch of, what did it say? Something like 37 Republicans agreed with the Democrats. So they really went against Trump on this one. And I think it's because what you guys had already told me, that he had just wanted to take the ceiling of this money and just allow trillions of dollars to be left out, and like a blank check, and like no, that's just not going to work.
Exactly. It's no spending ceiling. Who's going to pay for it? Well, I don't care. I'm not going to be around. I'm going to be long dead by the time that the bill comes due, so I really don't care. That's kind of their attitude. And I think, people are starting to realize, well, you're asking me to trim my budget. You're asking me to tighten my belt and whatnot. Why can't you do the same? Right? Yeah. To have no spending limit, excuse me, on federal budget? No.
And let him get sworn in January 20th. And I guarantee you by February 20th, there are going to be some pissed off conservative people. Because they're going to see their food costs go up.
Yes.
Price of eggs is going to triple. They thought it was bad before.
Yes. Yeah.
They're going to see the gasoline go up. They're going to see everything is going to go up in price, because Canada and Mexico have already said we'll either halt production of exporting to you, or we'll slap 100% tariff on every damn thing you want.
It's craziness. So I don't do cards, but Sherry and Marina do, and I was wondering if you two could do a reading for January 20th. Will Trump be inaugurated on January 20th?
Okay.
Ooh.
I have my own ideas. It's just my imagination, of course.
Well, he thinks he will be.
Well, we know that, because we know that if he doesn't get it the right way, he's going to do his own inauguration. But in
Mhm.
reality, will he actually be inaugurated on January 20th?
Hmm.
Hmm.
Well, I start off with the King of Pentacles. This is your security, your values, so on. You could see him as, well, no, actually, he wouldn't be the King of Pentacles because that would be more like Biden. Biden has got more moral fiber to him than Trump does. So Trump believes that he will. I don't know. The um, the Eight of Wands is information coming in quickly. And information okay, I get okay. Information coming in quickly about the Seven of Swords, and the Seven of Swords is the thief in the night getting the steal, right? So Biden gets information and shares the information about the steal, um, and it's about the Nine of Pentacles, the happy merchant, the guy who's sitting back, just kind of thinking everything is fabulous and fantastic, and that's not the case. Eight of Cups, walking away. Um, I don't think so.
Well, that would go along with my thoughts. Sherry, did you come up with something?
My first card up was the Queen of Pentacles. It feels like that's Kamala, a dark woman, because that's how this card is depicted. The Queen of Pentacles is a dark woman, somebody that's somebody that's very intelligent, as well as being very quick to figure out what's going on. That just screams Kamala to me.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've got the Page of Pentacles, which is more of it's that paperwork. We're waiting for all the notes to come in.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the page is going to be bringing. They're going to be bringing in all that information. This is what we found. This is the evidence. Here's testimony. Here, whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got the Seven of Cups. And I think that's something that's going to give everybody some hope.
Yeah.
Because they're going to see all of this and go, oh, oh, maybe, and I think it's going to hit people just that way. Like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
oh, it's like that. By the time they get to that third everybody's going to be like really sitting up and taking notice with the possibilities.
Yeah. And
And then I got the
especially
Two of Swords.
if they haven't received their checks yet. Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
It's
Yes.
funny.
And then the Two of Swords.
Mm,
So it's not only decisions to be made, but especially with this deck, it also stands for brothers in arms. Here's your vets right here.
mm-hmm.
And they got some serious decision making that they're going to do.
Yeah.
I think it's going to make a big change in everything.
Mm.
And it ends with the Empress, which is
Okay.
also Kamala, because the Empress is very nurturing, very caring, very loving, but don't get on her bad side or
Mm-hmm.
she'll kick your butt.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And it's funny that I got the King of Pentacles and you got the Queen of
and I got the
Pentacles.
Queen, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really about your security, about your values, your possessions, the things that you
You got the
own.
King, the Queen, and the Page of Pentacles.
Page. Okay. Yeah. Oh,
So
I
out
like
of the
when
two
it's
of
the
us,
night.
we had 3 court cards of the
Yeah.
same suit.
Yeah.
That's not normal.
Yeah.
Well, I
Yeah.
love what you guys have come up with. My feeling is that there's a very good possibility that nobody gets inaugurated on January 20th.
I have had that feeling too.
And that things are
That
just going to
maybe
be held up in the air until it can be cleared up. And that that may not happen, but in the meantime, everybody has been talking about Trump having his own inauguration from Mar-a-Lago, and that he'll be running the country from Mar-a-Lago. And I'm thinking, see, this is where you come into major conflict. Obviously, inauguration made up by him is not a real inauguration.
No.
So,
No, it's like me coming down and saying, I'm the Queen of America. So, I appointed myself the Queen, and you all must bow. Good luck. Good luck.
Well, and I would love to say that, it's going to be Kamala Harris. It's always felt that way to me. I still get the same message from my guides that Kamala will be president. And we go back and forth on this. I say, is it now? Is it 2025? Is that going to happen? And I get mixed messages, and it's probably because I've asked the same question
Yes.
1,000 times.
and one of the hits I got about a week ago or so, and I was listening probably to the Midas Touch. I don't know. I was listening to somebody, and it wasn't another reader. It was like one of the news things, and I was just listening to hear what they had to say. And they were talking about basically the Five Eyes, what other people are going to be coming forward with, that they're thinking there's going to be, outside stuff coming in. And right about the time I got the hit and kind of saw it in my head, one of them said it on air, which kind of freaked me out because it's like, whoa, wait a minute. Because literally it was almost word for word what the thought that came to me, and then they said it. And that was that, if foreign actors come forth with evidence, then that gives Joe Biden the right to say we're under attack.
Yeah.
We have been hacked, and therefore I'm not going anywhere. We do not change leadership in the middle of a war.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so I've got that possibility. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you see what Marie Sutton? Yeah, just read. Kamala called a trip to California and returned by motorcade to the White House. Biden and family left Delaware tonight to return to the White House.
A week before Christmas.
Well, and I have been hearing from my guides that there's a bunch of people that are helping out Biden, helping out Kamala, helping out the country by letting them know about certain illegalities that have occurred that probably are right around Trump as well as Musk.
Yes.
I've also heard that he's going to be brought up for treason against the country. So these things that are, if this is really happening right now, that everybody's all of a sudden racing back to the White House, that could just be more information that they can't, because also the dates. I don't know if anybody's been paying attention to the dates, but for what was it, like the 16th through the 20, I don't know. From this week especially is getting a lot of input from investigations and other things. And then next week, a lot of stuff is coming up that we may or may not hear about. Now I'm kind of, right this minute, I'm feeling like we're going to hear about something here within the next week or so. And that will make us wonder what's going on. Make us, see something there might be a little ray of hope. I'm sorry, Marina, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, even if we don't hear about it, maybe the information that that Biden is getting, and I'm sure he's getting it from the Five Eyes, Nine Eyes, 14 Eyes, whatever, and they're coming in with the proof and the receipts. Why couldn't they just sit down with Trump and his team and President Musk and say, right, this, either one of you breathes a word of this to anyone or posts anything about this, we're going to release the whole thing. In the meantime, pack your bags. You're both moving somewhere else, and you're both out of the country, and you're not coming back. That they could, in essence, leave it up to them to say, right, out you go. Take your attitude with you, out you go. In which case, then, Biden can step down, Kamala would come in. They could do that, or they could just.
I don't really see that happening. I
doesn't feel like that?
Biden and Kamala. No, I don't think Biden before the January 20th would step down and let Kamala come in. That really made no sense. I think what Biden wants to do is put Kamala in the president's seat, and he wants her in the White House because of all the crazy makings that's going on. The other thing I heard, this didn't come from my guides, but I've been thinking about it a lot. Somebody on YouTube had said that JD Vance could end up being somebody that actually gives the FBI some information that they didn't have before. Now, I don't know if I believe that at all. I'm just kind of repeating something I heard, and that was also a psychic thing. But I thought, wouldn't that be something? Because think about it, JD Vance has just been pushed aside.
Totally.
Trump and Musk. I mean, if Musk would have been a United States citizen, he'd be the VP. But right now, Vance is like, you don't hear about him. He just, you see pictures of him walking through the halls of the White House or wherever he's at. But you're not hearing about him. And I thought, well, okay, that sounds to me like a possibility that he could.
He could very well do that. And Dorian, I don't trust Vance either. I think he's a snake as much as the rest of them for entertainment purposes only. Absolutely. But he's also going to be looking after his own interests. And if he doesn't get the recognition that he thinks he deserves, he would throw a temper tantrum and say, fine, I'm going to go tell mom. And right? And go to the FBI and say, yeah, you want to know what happened? I'll tell you what happened.
Or could the FBI call him in, and him being all arrogant, and they're saying, well, fine, you go ahead and be that way, but in the end, this is what's going to happen if you don't come clean with what's been going on. Then it's down to saving your own ass. I could see that kind of thing happening too. But does anybody trust Vance? No, this guy's just a goofball. I don't even know why he's in there. But
well, he's got that revolving moral compass in his brain. You blow on it and it changes its mind. So
people are already getting this thing about Vance. Like I said, I heard it from somebody else. I never really thought about it, but this Marine says, I think JD is awful quiet, and I think that he is singing like a canary. I got that feeling the other day, but I just don't know. I mean, I haven't really paid that much attention to that guy because he's such a nobody. But then again, what I was so worried about is that if Trump actually does get inaugurated and then something happens to him, and then we end up with Vance. Well, Vance is younger, and he's just as dangerous, if not more so than Trump.
If not more so, because Vance is an ideologue. He believes this crap. Trump just does it because it's the most expedient way to put money in his pocket, and it keeps him out of jail. And that's all he cares about.
Right.
But Vance is a worshiper. He is the ideologue. He believes this nonsense.
Yep.
Yeah, I
That's
agree.
scary. It's just like with Moses Mike, same thing. He
Yes.
believes the BS coming from the cup of Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
Wholeheartedly. And those people scare me because there's no logic, there's no persuasion that you can use to try to get them to see clearly what's going on around them, because they don't give a crap. God has spoken to them and told them what they are to do. I think if God really spoke to them, they would probably have a massive stroke or something. I mean, because
Yeah, God would smack him upside the head first.
I don't think he, she, it, whatever God is, I don't think would be as encouraging as they seem to think.
Yeah.
God
But
is going to be to them.
I still have an awful lot of faith in Biden because God is talking to him, and he is a very religious person, and and I just think that
Good man.
I've always thought that Biden will not allow somebody like Trump to come in and turn the country upside down and do the kind of things he's doing and turn it into an authoritarian country with a dictator. There's a part of me that just says there's no way in the world that that Biden is going to allow that. And other people have thought that Biden is feeling tired and Biden just wants out. I don't get that either. I say this is his last hurrah. So if he has a chance to make that kind of a big difference, I think he will. And that, if it means no inauguration on January 20th and that he remains president for a while, so be it. I think he's up for that. I keep hearing more and more people talking about, well, Biden's getting kind of tired and he's this and that. I know he's getting kind of old. That doesn't mean still doesn't have that same zest for democracy and for what he has done his entire life.
Yeah.
I am really putting a lot of faith into Biden to make a difference here and turn this around for us.
Yeah. He's got a world of experience.
Yeah.
Much more than the other side does. So, I think, yes, I do have faith. I do have faith in Biden. I think it's also really important that everyone get ready to, if need be, to save yourselves. Don't look for a hero, because then the lesson isn't learned, right? It's like if you've ever had a child that acts up when you go shopping and they want a particular toy and they throw a temper tantrum. If you do not immediately leave the store, if you just keep saying no, 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 and the kid cries louder and gets more vocal until you give in, you haven't taught them that this is not the way to act. All you have taught them is, I just need to make a lot more noise and I just need to scream for a little longer. So while it's a case of, yes, bringing, looking to Biden and say, yeah, okay, save us from this, that's great. But if he comes in at the last hour and he does save the country, there are still people who they're not going to learn the lesson. They're going to do it again because it will not have affected them at the core. And that's what it needs to. But I do agree with you, Cleo. I would love to see him do something and yeah.
Well, he's the only one that really has the power to do something.
Yeah.
And thank you to Mr. Trump for giving the president the ultimate immunity. He can do any damn thing he wants to.
Yeah.
And I think he might take advantage of that.
Mm-hmm.
And I have seen stuff where he is psychically. I have seen stuff where he is getting all this information from outside sources and kind of putting this all together. Well, when I see that kind of thing, I see it happening right now. I may be a little bit ahead of myself. Maybe that hasn't happened right now yet. But I think that it's going to, and that he will definitely take advantage of that kind of thing. And I just don't see him allowing the country to go to hell in a handbasket. I mean, it's just that's not.
No, he's worked too hard and believes too strongly in the concept of democracy to just throw his hands up in the air and say, "Oh well." No.
When he did the interview with Ben Masilas,
Yeah.
Several of the questions that Ben asked him were, how did he feel about this, or what did he think about that, with what 45 is going to bring in. And of course, at one point, he started to say, as long as the American people are best, I'm okay with it. You could see that coming out of him. And then he stopped and he changed the script. And he was like, no, I'm the one that did that. And I'll be more than happy to stand up and tell people I'm the one that did that, not him. He's going to try to ride in on the coattails. That's what he did off of Obama in 2016. He came into office in 2017 riding on the coattails of all the work that Obama had done for 8 damn years, while bad-mouthing everything Obama did for the last 8 years.
Yeah.
But taking full advantage of what Biden did do for the whole, well, especially for the economy, he will.
Exactly.
If Trump gets into office, he will just claim that he did it. That this is what he.
Well, the thing
did
is he hasn't even gotten into office already, and things are already starting to bottom out from people flipping out that he's going to be the next president.
I know.
The stock exchange has had huge drops.
Yeah. It's just going down, down, down.
Gigantic. But yet he's the money man that one golden word from him and it's all going to go soaring. I'm sorry, but the opposite happened there. You opened your mouth and everything went down the toilet. So
yeah, totally.
Sorry, y'all. Sometimes I do sound effects and I don't mean to.
Don't worry about it.
Well, at least my teeth didn't fly out when I did that one. So that has happened before.
Yeah. No, I really do think that it is going to be interesting over the next little while.
Yeah, and weeks.
Even if he gets inaugurated and he steps into that office, there's a part of me that, while a part of me is like, oh my God, here we go again. But there's this deep-seated peace in me that's like, yeah, don't sweat it. It's going to be okay. And that's the main message that I personally keep getting from my guides. It's just like, chill. It's going to be okay. Just chill out, Don't think too hard. Just go with it. And so I'm like, okay, I'm seeing my world as I know it coming to an end. And not just for me, but for 99.99999% of the rest of the world.
Yes.
I said, and, I think I have a right to be freaked out. And they just keep coming back and telling me, no, just chill.
Yeah.
So even if he does get inaugurated, even if he does go in, which there's still a really good chance that that's what's going to happen, I think that it may be the catalyst that we need. Not so much progressive people that have already gone there in their heads and figured it out, but I think it's going to be the impetus that puts everyone else suddenly on wake up and go, oh shit,
I didn't vote for that. Yeah, you did.
Exactly. I heard a lady in a call-in show the other day talking about she was at the drugstore and the guy in front of her, dressed in MAGA gear from head to toe, went up to fill his scripts, and the pharmacist says, well, sir, just to let you know, next month you won't be able to fill your scripts here. And the guy was like, "Why not?" And he said, "Well, we won't be taking that insurance anymore." "Well, why not?" And they said, "Because the new administration is cutting that off. And so we can't fill those scripts because we can't operate with that,
Yeah.
with that insurance company because as a vet, they're taking a lot of that stuff away from y'all. Nothing we can do about it. And this guy was like getting all bent out of shape. And this woman said she leaned around and his shirt said, um, "Daddy's coming home," or something like that. And she said, and she just looked at him and said, "Yeah, it looks like Daddy doesn't give a royal about
Yeah.
what's best for you."
Yeah.
And but I think it's going to be things like that are
Yes.
going to make a difference.
Yes.
Well, I know a lot of people have said on here, other psychics have talked about that Trump might get in and might be in there for like 18 months or something like that. Every time I hear that, I cringe, because that is not really what I am getting. But then again, the energy around this is so bizarre, and I have to keep in perspective on it that it could happen. But whenever time I think about Trump actually being in there, I'm thinking once he's in there, once he's inaugurated, we're screwed. Well, I guess I shouldn't really be thinking of it that way, because once he gets in there, I don't know what would happen, but it would not feel good to me. But on the other hand, maybe that is something that is supposed to happen.
Yeah.
I still don't feel it. I still feel that it will be Kamala Harris, but it won't be on January 20th. I think that the dates are a little bit. I think that Biden will stick in there, and he'll, because they've got to get everything ironed out before they actually make that step. And
Mhm.
that's again the reason why I think it will be delayed, and that Trump will do his own inauguration, and that'll just
That's
start
very
looking more
possible.
and more goofy. It just
Yep. And and big deal. So he can have his inauguration. He can start working at a Mar-a-Lago. The rest of the world isn't really going to recognize him. You're not president. There's no. Joe Biden is still
Well, they
president.
said that when he went to France last week, that the other world leaders, I mean, if they had to interact with him one on one, like Prince William did and several of the other leaders did, they did their duty. They smiled. They did whatever it was they needed to do, not because they enjoyed it, but because that's what is expected of them. That's their job.
No, they
But that
hightailed it out of there.
overall, on the whole, they
Hmm.
the scuttlebutt behind his back was that they were laughing at him.
Yeah.
They were laughing at him. They were laughing at the people he was trying to put into positions. They were talking amongst themselves, saying, "Can you believe what this idiot is trying to do?" And it's like, okay, I mean, at least hopefully, since other world leaders see it, maybe they won't be so rough on us when it all comes to a head. I mean,
Well, and the
that's
other
just
thing that
wishful
kind of
thinking on my part.
concerned me was that all these millionaires, billionaires are donating money to Trump's inauguration. And what worries me about that, I don't care if they want to give him the money, but what worries me is why they're doing it. And they're only doing it because they believe that Trump is going to be in there. There's no question in their mind about it. And they don't want their businesses being ruined. They don't want to be wiped out because Trump decides to, get a wild hair and decide, oh, okay, well, let's do something about Amazon. I don't think that's quite right. Or let's do something about Meta or Facebook or whatever, Zuckerberg is all about. And
Yeah,
so,
they're hedging their bets. That's all they're doing is they're
yeah,
hedging their bets.
yeah,
And more than anything else, it has shown the rest of us and the rest of the world that these people's morals and ethics and their integrity is up for sale.
yeah.
Hmm.
So yeah, they're not doing it because they support him. They have spoken out against him. But you're right, Cleo, when it comes to their own business, oh no, 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 that's when I draw the line. Here you go. Take $1 million and buy yourself something pretty for your inauguration, right?
Yeah, well, that's it too. Yeah, yeah. They're just kissing ass and and acting like, okay, you're president now, so now whatever you want to do,
Yeah,
and it just shows that you're putting a dictator in the White House. So
yeah,
we just got to hope and pray for the best, and if it doesn't go our way, we have to accept that too, because that's one thing. I don't want to spend 4 years fighting it and regretting it. And I'm thinking, just since the election, we've had to hear such a bunch of stuff, bunch of crap that that it just makes me crazy. And I thought, don't get crazy about it. Just
exactly. Yeah,
let's let this work itself out. There's other
Yep.
people that are in a different position than the rest of us that do have a say about certain things and do have a vote about what happens in Congress, and that maybe he really will be disqualified. Hope and pray.
yes,
But again, for since this whole year, I have heard from my guides that Kamala is going to make an excellent president, and
Yeah.
that she's going to be in there. They're not telling me that Trump won't be in there. So
yeah,
I don't know about the timing. I just know that this is what I've been told over and over again. For a while there, they were telling me, don't worry about it. I've noticed they haven't been telling me that lately. And I think that's because there's so much corruption and illegal stuff going on behind the scenes that we just can't. Just like the voting, that hasn't that
See,
have the
it's
certification.
something that the Democrats failed at, and this goes back over a decade ago, was when the Supreme Court decided that every dollar is a vote, and that these corporations and stuff can give just unlimited amounts of money with no checks and balances on them, no no caps on. No, you can't go sink $10 million into Joe
yeah,
Blow's account over there for them to do. It's just no. I mean, um instead of I mean, the first thing the Dems should have done as soon as they got control again, right after that happened, they should have gone in and done whatever needed to be done to undo it.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and yeah, Maureen,
Absolutely.
I'm tired of the hate too. It gets old.
Yeah,
It really does.
Yeah,
yeah,
And
Maureen, what you just said there is what everybody's feeling, and so
yeah,
hopefully we can get past this. And just,
yeah,
I don't know. I mean, it has been
yeah,
such a crazy year, and
it's been exhausting.
it
It's
has
it's
been.
been
It's been
so
exhausting.
chaotic.
Perfect.
yeah,
It's been exhausting, and God help us if he actually, everything flows through the way that it looks like it will, then there are times I stop and think, Jesus, do I even have the energy to deal with this? Because it's going to be pants on fire every other day or several
mhm,
times a day.
Yeah.
And it's going to be who's going to have the courage to keep them from ordering the army from shooting 15-year-olds who are protesting that he wants to take away their birth control, you know, or whatever it is that a 15-year-old would
yeah,
protest about. Um,
yeah,
I mean, because he tried to do that last go round. Unfortunately, he had Millie in there that was like, no, we don't do that.
yeah,
And that's when they had their falling out because he wouldn't let Trump order the troops to go in and just shoot him in the legs.
yeah. Yeah.
Thinking, yeah,
Okay.
that's gonna work.
Yeah.
And artist Liz, I totally agree with you, and it's true. We
We
do all
do.
that PTSD with
And people were finally starting to mend when now we got to deal with it all over again.
yeah, it's just, and that's what brings up all the old PTSD, and yeah, it's
Yep.
just a bummer that way. But hopefully, I don't know. I still got high hopes. I still got, I totally have a lot of belief and confidence in my spirit guides and what they're saying to me. And but I do think it's just it's going to be a fight, and that's what we're in the process right now. Like everybody feels like, well, look at all what we're seeing with Trump. This is going to happen. He's going to be president. Maybe, maybe not. So anyway, I want to thank everybody for coming today. This has really been a great discussion.
Yeah.
I really love it that everybody has contributed, because that's one thing I love about this show is the input from the people in the chat section. It's really wonderful.
Yeah.
So I guess we won't see you again until after Christmas. It'll be another couple weeks before we do
Yes.
Golden Girls.
Yep.
And
we'll be back on
January.
after the new year,
2nd.
January 2nd, I think it is.
oh
Yep.
wow, we make it past New Year's before we get to see you again. So anyway, I
Yes.
hope you guys have enjoyed
Yeah.
this show. We've been doing it
Yeah.
for the whole year. We come up with a lot of interesting things and interesting discussions. So anyway, we'll see you all after the first of the year. And then, of course, we're all on other shows, so you'll still see us in and around YouTube. And
Leo and I will be on polyterology tomorrow night.
well, that's
So,
right. Thank you, Sherry. Polyterology tomorrow night. And that program has really been it's really been super
and
interesting.
I've got Draining the Swamp on Monday. So,
Wow. Okay.
you
So
know,
you got what do you got going on, Marina?
Saturday is 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Eastern Standard Time.
well, that's a Shine Your
Join me
Light.
on my channel for the second Shine Your Light event. And that is, if you need more information on that, just go over to my community tab and take a look down in there. And you'll see a list of some of the people that are going to be joining us. The last one was absolutely fabulous. So make sure that you come join us again. You will feel better. If nothing else, at the end of it, you will feel uplifted and you will feel better. So,
and that's Saturday.
Yeah, I enjoyed the last one around.
Saturday
had several things going on at the time this go around, so I didn't email you to put any stuff in. I'm hoping I can just sit and watch some of it.
Yeah.
What time, Marina?
That is at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Okay, so there
Eastern
you have it. Well, thank you guys. Hey, Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Same
Happy New Year.
Bye,
and we'll see you then. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.